Welcome back to Right Effing Now. If you are a frequent listener, you might have noticed something a little bit different, and that is we are going video and we're joining the mainstream population to do it. Kind of fun, requires a little bit more of yourself. If you're listening, you know that I do have a chronic illness. Actually, I have a few of them, and so it makes like being on video a little bit more challenging, but we're going to give it a go. I can tell you you're going to have an honest representation, okay? Because sometimes I'm going to feel like an absolute garbage can, and you'll see that. You'll say, "Oh, okay, she doesn't feel good." And you'll get it. So, why did we decide to start this back up again? And that is because well, first of all, I wanted the name to go back to Right Effing Now because that applies to all kinds of writing, not just book writing. It applies to article writing, copywriting, fiction, things of that nature, short stories, what have you, all kinds of writing. I'm even going to have my mom on. She's a playwright and she's going to talk about that. She's going to talk about screenwriting. So I'm super excited about that. But it's important to start up the show again and refresh it and just I do this show because I love doing it. Obviously, I love sharing everything we possibly can about writing. I love talking to people and getting their takes on things that help them break through what people call writer's block. I call writer's judgment because you actually can write, you're just not writing, but you physically can write if you challenge yourself to. But I think it's an important topic. It's one people are extremely curious about. When they hear I'm a book editor and publisher, they get kind of excited about that. So I want to answer any questions that anybody has. I'm trying to make the barrier to entry to publishing less, whatever that happens to be. Let's find feasible ways to get you there. So you're also going to find that there are prior episodes. We're going to still keep playing those. There are prior episodes of this podcast and the various name iterations when I had a radio show to freshly scrubbed episodes there of authors that I interviewed. So since I have been gone, what has changed? What a great question, because the answer is so much, particularly when it comes to AI. And that is one of the first episodes that we're going to have where we will delve into that topic. And it's important to know how to use the tools of AI because there are good tools out there, but what are the rules? So, rules and tools of AI is what we're going to talk about. And I do continue to keep my feet wet in both fiction and nonfiction. So we're going to be talking about those things too. It's recently come to my attention AI book covers and things of that nature and illustrations. And I just have to point out this behind me, AI. So there's ways to use it. But you'll also notice this is all of my intellectual property in which I am using AI to help me. So that is part of our topic of conversation that we'll discuss. What can you expect? I'm going to try and keep things a little shorter, a little sweeter. I know that I tend to run off at the mouth sometimes. Most people would not object to hearing that, and I consider it a compliment. No, it's fine. But it's a little bit more concise. You can expect episodes that are about 20 minutes long, and we're going to be blasting them all over the place. So, where if we do go live at some point, you can expect to see us in a live format all over the place. We will be shareable, and I think that that's an important piece of information. So, we are going to talk about AI. We're going to talk to various authors. Like, I have a dog trainer on tap. We just finished a dog training book. That was absolutely amazing. We're going to talk to a woman who teaches people how to be a mermaid. and using scuba accoutrement, if you will. She helps them underwater so that when they're in performance mode, that they look more magical, more flowy, and things of that nature. There's all kinds of different books that I've been working on that have been absolutely amazing. I've got some international authors too that I'm super thrilled to share with you. So it is high time that we've come back. We also have a little free library in the meantime. So give some shout outs to that little free library in the neighborhood and how fun it is to find out what your neighbors are reading and what they like to read. And I want to create some awareness around that really, and then get people listening in the local community. I think that would be kind of fun, and bring them in droves to the library. Maybe not in droves, but lots of kids books, lots of fun, like mommy wine culture books, I guess, I would call that. And I'm getting back to my roots too. So I've been broadcasting since 2017, but you'll be listening to Danny because I'm having a comeback on, and he's a podcast producer. So, a little known fact is that back in the day, I don't even know when, let's just say dinosaurs were recently extinct. Danny and I went to broadcasting school. That's right. It was a standalone building in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We did not go there together. This is how crazy it is because he went there several years after me. And then when we met, I was in Minnesota, he was in Texas. We met and we were like, oh my God, we went to the same broadcasting school. And now he's producing the podcast, which is so cool. We did a test run last week that nobody can see because I had my glasses on and lights were in my face. And then I just drummed up some random, library out of nowhere and threw it behind me. And he was like, no, that's not happening. Also going to talk about editing because I am rolling out my editing course again to help you become an editor and to help you um, learn the art of it. So it is feasible to make a living doing editing, doing book publishing. The course includes the aspects of book publishing, but some people just kind of tune out at that piece of it, and that's completely fine. It's just additional skill set that you can use at some point, and who doesn't want an additional skill set, right? So, but I will be talking about that, some aspects of editing, getting kind of deep in it. So if you are writing a book, if you are sitting down and working through some of the revisions and things of that nature, hopefully you'll find this useful. There'll be some quick and dirty tips, and then we'll delve into some storytelling aspects as well. And we're going to be talking about how to go economical in getting your book out there because it is feasible to do that. And as I say, when it concerns traditional publishing, and then there's publishing for everybody else, right? Which is, if you're not a Kardashian, you're not a King, you're not a Patterson, you're not a Tony Robbins, you know, you're probably going to go a different route when you publish your book. And there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We'll talk about reasons why people want their book published. And particularly if it's a bucket list item, let's figure out how to get you across the finish line. It doesn't mean that you might not have to learn some things yourself, but these are very learnable items. These are things that, once you've got them in the old toolbox, you can get them out again and again. Writing is not just writing anymore. It's not just plunking away on the keyboard. It is also recording. So if you have a podcast, you have a book, right? It is also, so yeah, it's recording and repurposing. Those are your three main areas. If you have existing content, for instance, you might have a PowerPoint, or maybe you've done a speech, right? And so you've got something that works very well in a certain section of your book. So there are ways to get across that finish line. If you have relatives who are, maybe your mom's a retired English teacher, She is a great example of somebody who can do some proofreading for you. That saves money. And we'll talk about other ways to save money in that regard too, because I do want to help you get across that publishing finish line. And honestly, nothing breaks my heart more when I hear that an author cannot find a way to get their book published because of economical means. We've all been there. We are still there, some of us. So I've always been very compassionate about those types of situations. So that is it in a nutshell. I've already written down over a year's worth of episodes that you can expect to see. Because when you've been in business for, 10 plus years doing this, you kind of have stuff to talk about. And you're going to meet every single team member. And I say all these things with the understanding that these people have to say yes to coming on the air. So that's it. That's what you'll expect to listen to on Right Effing Now. We're going to air once a week on all of the regular channels. And I hope you tune in. And I'm very excited to be back behind the mic or the Zoom lens, as it were, and excited to hear what you think about the show. Right on.